continuing to stay in this race. And the economy is beginning to perk up in America, indisputably. And the polls are closing, indisputably. Why shouldn't Biden run? Why wouldn't he have a good chance of beating Trump?
Yeah, because he's a tyrant who has no base of support.
What's happening, everybody? Benny Johnson and Destiny recently joined Dave Smith on a panel on Piers Morgan Uncensored. Benny Johnson asserted that the Democrats' legal attacks on Donald Trump hurt the Democrats in the election, while, shockingly, Destiny argued that it had no effect whatsoever. With that, let's watch Benny Johnson tell the truth, while Destiny feebly attempts to defend the abhorrent actions of the Democrat Party. Let's go.
Trial.
Right, and there's another side to this, which is Joe Biden, right? So you would think that the Democrat nominee for president would be absolutely milking this in a masterful way to propel himself to stay in the White House. But this is what Biden said yesterday.
In a sense, I don't know why we're surprised by Trump. How many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted?
Now, he meant to say, how many times can he prove he can't be trusted? But Destiny, once again, he's incapable of finishing a sentence that makes any coherent sense. And this is the major fault line for the Democrats' chances of winning the election, is whatever happens to Trump, we know that Biden's popularity is at an all-time low. We know that most Democrats, 2/3 of Democrats, nearly 3/4 of Democrats, don't think he should be running again because of his age and clear cognitive acuity issues. But when you see a clip like that, and they come every day with Biden, do you not think that it would be smart of the Democrats to somehow persuade Joe Biden to step aside and get a younger, more dynamic person who might have a better ability to capitalize on what's happening with Trump?
I don't know what the backfired thing is coming from. I don't know if it's just like because we see a lot of crazy tweets on Twitter or X, or because of certain talking heads or pundits or whatever, but Biden's popularity on the recent polling has continued to rise. It is slowly rising. I think, like I said for months now, I don't think there's anything good that happens for Trump from here to the election. And as long as the economy can recover, as long as inflation is under control, I think it only gets better for Biden from here on out. I don't think a lot of people are seeing Trump in the courtroom or his crazy antics on Truth Social and think like, wow, this guy is such a martyr for the cause. All of the sycophantic fanatics that follow Trump are still following Trump, and the people that really like him still really like him. But all those people that are kind of like more moderate or kind of not the most extreme Trump fanatics are slowly starting to drop off. I think Biden's popularity is continuing to rise, and I don't know why you would throw away an incumbent who's already beaten Trump before and try to run a totally new, untested candidate when you have no idea what the opposition research or anything like that is going to be on him. I agree that Biden definitely has problems, but I mean Trump has so many problems, and he's already lost to Biden. Why would you run anybody else?
Benny, I mean, there's some good points there.
Well, Destiny's right. The Democrats did not make Donald Trump a martyr. He was already a martyr. The man's been attacked from everyone, from every angle, every day for, I don't know, since 2015, 8-9 years. The Democrats just announced to the world, for anyone who didn't know, that Donald Trump's a martyr. Well, this take really aged well for Destiny, didn't it? About how great Joe Biden is and his popularity is rising. I literally don't remember even the garbage CNN, MSNBC, mainstream media. I don't remember it ever being a story that Joe Biden's popularity is rising. But I feel like when Trump was convicted on the ridiculous hush money case, when all the indictments came out and the entire country got to see what we've all known for a long time, Donald Trump was under attack from everyone. And I think a lot of people out there, I mean, as evidenced by his winning the election, realize that if all of these mainstream institutions have a problem with you and establishment politicians, you're probably doing something right.
Biden has beaten Trump before. This is his argument, apparently, for continuing to stay in this race. And the economy is beginning to perk up in America, indisputably. And the polls are closing, indisputably. Why shouldn't Biden run? Why wouldn't he have a good chance of beating Trump?
Yeah, because he's a tyrant who has no base of support. I went to that event yesterday. I was physically there. It was in Tampa. So actually, when I went to the community, we spent the entire day there in Tampa at the community college hunting for a Joe Biden supporter to try and find a single Joe Biden supporter, since Joe Biden was physically there speaking. Not sure he was totally awake, but he was there, right? A physical man was there. Couldn't find a Joe Biden supporter. We found thousands of protesters from the Democrat leftists protesting Joe Biden, saying he should be locked up for human rights abuses, calling him Genocide Joe. We went and interviewed a bunch of them. We couldn't find anyone. We talked to the students. Nobody even knew Joe Biden was there. The students were like unaware that the resident of the United States was physically there. There was more energy and enthusiasm at your local nursing home during activity hour, where there's extra cinnamon for the applesauce, than there was for Joe Biden yesterday at an actual presidential event. And this was in Florida. And I think has a lot of chutzpah to go to Florida and think you can flip this state. This state went for Trump twice. But I guess this is my question to Destiny. Is this state in Florida is a place where the Biden family had a lot of business, a lot of corrupt business in this state. The DOJ, the FBI looked into the Biden business practices in this state. They've had to pay big penalties. Would you be in favor of a district in this state that voted for Donald Trump, 85 points for Donald Trump, and a judge that donated to Donald Trump and whose kids are in the business of locking up Joe Biden? Would you be in favor of Joe Biden being brought to trial for bookkeeping in a county like that? You would be okay with it? Because you just said this doesn't matter. So you'd be all right with that scenario.
Unless the judge themselves have made specific comments about the candidate themselves that somebody can show me and you can see a clear bias, then no, I wouldn't have a judge recuse themselves there. The idea that we cannot trust our state, district, our federal judges to do the jobs that we entrust them to do, that we think that they can't give an impartial trial to somebody because they were an ex-president, well, then why should we have any faith in our justice system delivering fair trials to anybody at all? What about a black person? What about a woman? What about a trans person? What if they know you're a registered Republican? What if they know that you voted for Trump? What if they know that you supported Bernie Sanders? No, we should be able to entrust that our justice system will deliver fair results going through the processes that they go through. If somebody's made a particular comment about Trump or Biden, I would hope they would recuse themselves in that case. But if they haven't and they just tend to support a particular political party, then we would hope that their allegiance to upholding justice in the United States is true. And also this idea that you can walk on a college campus and figure out who's going to win the presidency. If that was true, then the last election would have been Bernie Sanders versus Andrew Yang. Since when do we go to college campuses to determine the overall popularity of a presidential candidate?
Okay. Dave.
Doesn't New York vote something like 85% Democrat? If I'm wrong on the number, you know what I mean. At a very high rate, they vote Democrat, right? If you're a Democrat anywhere in this day and age, villain numero uno is Donald Trump. It is a very reasonable question to ask. How could he possibly get a fair trial? And I'm sure most of you know this, but obviously Judge Benny was referring to is Judge Merchan, who's a lifelong Democrat, involved with the Democrat Party. His daughter raises money for Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party. So the odds were ridiculously stacked against Donald Trump. I mean, it's actually a pretty interesting legal question. Is there anywhere that Donald Trump could get a fair trial? That needs to be like a law school case study or something. So if I'm hearing Destiny correctly, he's saying trust government no matter what, shut up, let them do their job, because let's face it, Destiny's better than us. He's better than all of us. But all joking aside, this just shut up and trust the government attitude is why even his fellow Democrats call him an establishment shill. Because as you see here, he was making arguments for Joe Biden when they just played a clip of him making a ridiculous gaffe. And then when the entire establishment backed Kamala Harris, Destiny was all over that, defending her. I agree with you, Destiny. You can't walk onto a college campus and figure out who's going to win the presidency. You got us. You know that's not what Benny was saying. But apparently, maybe I'm wrong and you're wrong. There might be some truth to it. And never did Benny say that meant Trump was going to win the presidency. But the fact that the president of the United States was on their campus and there was zero buzz about it, no energy behind it, that is somewhat telling. And when I think about that low energy for Joe Biden, you know, there's another time I seem to remember where wasn't a lot of energy for Joe Biden. That was the 2020 election. but he received the most votes of any presidential candidate in history. But you know us, conspiracy theory, right-wing wackos. I mean, why would we think something fishy was going on? I'll wrap up with this. As I was preparing for this video today, I started wondering, does anyone on the left that hears Destiny or David Pakman or Sam Cedar or Emma Vigeland and all the rest of them, do they ever just watch them and say, oh man, I'm ashamed to be associated with them. I wish they'd just shut the hell up. Because I honestly don't see how you can watch any of these clowns talk and be like, yeah, that's my guy. Can you imagine? Who the hell would ever admit that? And if there's anyone that happens to be watching that likes these people, keep that quiet, man. That's something you take to the grave. Be embarrassed. But frankly, I've done a lot of Destiny videos lately, and I am just burnt out on talking about Destiny. So I'll throw it out to you. I'm not crazy, right? You all see how stupid his arguments are, right? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's it for this episode. If you want to watch idiots like Destiny just make nonsensical arguments while some based guy tells the truth, then click on one of the two videos that just popped up on your screen. Otherwise, as always, I think you probably know by now, I appreciate anybody who watches any of my videos more than you know. The end.